What is self-acceptance and what can we learn about self-acceptance from the analogy of a three-legged race? Hi, this is Nirmala Shekhar, a coach and a body talk practitioner from Singapore, and we are continuing our series on a map of self-care. Last video, we talked about self-love, and today we are talking about self-acceptance. One may ask, what is the difference? When we love ourselves, we are accepting all parts of ourselves. That is very true. But today, in this modern world, so many of us go around rejecting parts of ourselves that discussing self-acceptance separately becomes important. Let's take the example of a mother with a young child. She's gone to the supermarket and her aim is to be a very good mother. She takes her child to the supermarket, a little toddler, just before lunch. And over there, the toddler throws a tantrum. Mother gets angry and upset, yells at the child. And there are people outside who are shaking their heads. And some of them even say some mean things. And the whole experience becomes a very bad experience. Mother comes back, keeps brooding about it, and finally comes to the conclusion that she is not a good mother. This is something that happens to a lot of us. Let's take the example of a three-legged race. We have many different pairs. Most of them are evenly matched, but there are a few pairs where one is short and the other is tall. One of those pairs feels very upset and says that it is very, very unfair that you are matching us up in this uneven way. All those people who are evenly matched have an edge over us, and they keep grumbling and complaining. The race starts and they don't do well, and they keep blaming the fact that they have been paired unevenly. This is very possible. But there's another team which is also unevenly paired, and they decide that that's the way it is, and they decide to make it their advantage by thinking of ways that they can match the strides. And at some points, the person who is taller just lifts the shorter person and goes through very quickly. Now, this team has accepted their disadvantage, and hence they are able to do much better in the race. The same thing is true for self-acceptance as well. If we go back to the mother's example, now mother comes back from the supermarket very upset, takes some time out, prepares a meal, has a meal, feeds the child, and then finally decides that she does not want a repeat of this experience. And so if she does not want a repeat of this experience, she has to be very strategic about it. She decides she will never go shopping when she's hungry or when the child is hungry. She also comes up with a strategy where she prepares a list and gets the child to help her with the list, so the child has something to do, something meaningful, and then she starts praising the child for his or her actions and tells. So this is a plan that the mother has come up with because she is able to accept her situation and she's able to make that into her strength by using different strategies. This, in a nutshell, is what self-acceptance is all about. Very often we reject parts of ourselves because we feel that We have an aim, we have a goal that we need to reach. And this part of ourselves that we don't want is preventing us from reaching that goal. But by rejecting ourselves, we don't realize that it's a part of ourselves. And we have to embrace that part of ourselves, and only then we'll be able to go to the end point. So, self acceptance is about compassion, self love, and knowing that by accepting all parts of ourselves, we can go to our goal in a much better way. One thing self acceptance is not, and that is inaction. Very often people confuse the two. They say, oh, I'm accepting my problems, I'm accepting my situation, and take no action. That is not self acceptance. Self acceptance is taking action, but without rejecting any part of ourselves. And because we are not rejecting any part of ourselves, I think we would be able to be much more successful in completing the actions that we have taken. So that's all for today on this topic of self acceptance. I leave you with one question. Is there any part of yourself that you are currently not accepting? And what can you do to accept that part of yourself? That's all. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Nirmala Shekhar signing off. Bye bye. Namaste.